The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you much like Doctor Who in his telephone booth, teleported to the nation's capital. What nation? Canada. What capital? Ottawa.
And why are we here?
I don't know. This is the Jim and Terry Show. I'm Terry.
I'm Jim.
And we're in Ottawa to take a look at what's going around. Perhaps you're going to talk about Biden's visit. I'm curious because I see some maple leaf flags on trucks again out on the highway.
I'm more interested in the scandal, the China scandal.
Well, there you go.
We've already had a member of Parliament resign or move into an independent position because apparently he told China to keep the two Mikes. What are they, Mikes?
The two Michaels.
The two Michaels. He told them to keep the two Michaels until after the election. And so China was willing, apparently, to release them.
This is the back in the day of the Huawei scandal and the daughter of the executive of Huawei being held in
prisoner in her mansion.
Prisoner in her mansion.
Oh, she could go shopping. She just had to have bodyguards.
And we did it on request of the United States. We didn't even do this because we wanted to. Canada fulfilled its treaty obligation.
Yeah, it's part of the treaty obligation. Anyways, I heard the representative who had to resign. He was just bawling, crying. He says he's innocent, claims innocence, but we've heard this kind of stuff before. Anonymous leaks came out, and apparently they investigated it. Looks pretty serious. That they
who's investigated it?
I think it's the RCMP, if somebody like that. CSIS, or is it? Aren't they investigating?
The leak came from CSIS. The people who are investigating are reporters for the Globe and Mail.
Yeah, and so we'll have to see how that turns out. We say all that because that is a major scandal. It don't look good for the Liberals. Now we have to wait. In this country where you're innocent till proven guilty, but at the very same time, Biden's coming. And when they sit in those beautiful little chairs in there, all you're going to hear in the background is people screaming out to Trudeau, what about this? Yeah. What about that?
You know there are going to be questions about
China.
How
much did you know? And I don't know why Trudeau, he really did kind of not answer any questions really about it. He just poo-pooed it off. Some of it may be right when he says we can't talk about it too much because of national security. I said to you the other day, maybe the guy did do that, but maybe the reason he did that was to try to trick China into thinking we couldn't care less. In other words, I'll just keep him. We don't care. We don't care if you release it now. Sure, it would hurt our election if you release it. So it might have been an honorable thing. I don't know, and I'm not saying that, so nobody rush into that. I'm just saying more needs to be found out, but it does need to be investigated that that was done for the sake of political gain.
Well, from my perspective, watching the Twitterverse from my limited vantage point, it has a lot more traffic these days pushing that notion of Trudeau has done wrong and we need transparency, get rid of Trudeau. And that leads me to April 1st and a national day of protest to remove Trudeau once and for all. Too much Chinese complicity, too much whatever corruption they claim he's done. And so that's coming up on November 1st. But let's get back to Biden is visiting now.
In this country, you get rid of the guy when you go to the polls. You elect the guy.
I know. So, okay, we'll get to there. But let's talk about the questions in the background. This is a free country, which means the press has the right to ask questions and hard questions.
Yes.
And can you tell me from your vantage point for what you've seen on the news, who answers more questions, Pierre Poilievre or Justin Trudeau?
Well, I would assume, but Justin Trudeau is Prime Minister, so I guess he has to answer the questions.
The leader of the opposition. We had the discussion about this, the eagle and the owl.
But by the way, the leader of the opposition is going to be meeting with Biden as well, which I think is big of Biden because Biden really doesn't have to do that.
That is very good. That's bipartisanship, which is showing something.
Well,
that's
hopefully
good.
That works out because you know how I feel about Biden's view of Tesla and Musk.
And that I
have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but let's get back to it. So the President of the United States is, I believe it's today, isn't it? He's visiting Ottawa.
Right.
He's staying overnight. That's a rarity.
Wow. Is he at one of those Trudeau $10,000 a night hotels that everybody's yelling at Trudeau for spending on the Queen's funeral?
Well, funny, I think he'll probably just stay at Air Force One. I mean, there's
They should
nothing.
probably safer there.
There's nothing more
accommodations.
secure. Nothing more secure,
Yeah.
and it's a luxury suite. You might say the plane. His own bedroom, his living room, his office, and probably bar.
Does Air Force One land at a military base, or do they land at the Ottawa airport? I'm just curious. I've never.
Where would be the closest military base? Is there one in Ottawa?
I think there is.
Oh, there probably is. Probably that then. If it can. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of a big plane.
It is a big plane.
747.
All the
767.
niceties of diplomacy that we don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But anyways, he's landing at a time when there's turmoil, and the press
Domestic
and everybody.
turmoil.
Yeah, domestic turmoil, and yeah, I think they need to get to the bottom of a lot of things about China's interference into the election that goes even beyond the two Michaels.
Right. There's claiming, at least the story that I've been following in the Globe and Mail has made the allegation, and I use that word because none of it's been proven at this point. So the allegation is that 2019 and 2021 were both compromised.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's the allegation, but there is no
No.
proof.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the person who runs the Elections Canada has come out and said there's no evidence at all of 2019 or 2021 election outcomes being adversely affected by any political interference, and whether that's buying people or leaning on people, I
I
don't
hope
know.
so, but there'd be little things done probably. Just it's the way it is. What about Biden? I mean, there was a whole scandal with China again with Biden and Hunter and all
Hunter
the rest
Biden.
of it. Where's that at this particular point?
They're still looking for Hunter Biden's laptop.
It's still missing. Is it in Ukraine?
It could be. Isn't that what Trump wanted?
I think
Find it in Ukraine.
You know the
It's in
movie.
Kyiv.
Raiders of the
Lost Ark? Yeah.
Lost Ark. Raiders of Hunter's computer. That's why Russians invaded.
I thought Giuliani had it. Maybe Giuliani went to Kyiv. Maybe he was going to pass it off when the Russians invaded Kyiv and give it to the Russians. Look what we found in the capital.
Yeah, and what would it show? you
Okay,
know?
where are we going with this?
Well, okay, but the bottom line is this. I heard the guy resign. He sounded genuinely broken. He insisted in that broken speech that he's innocent. And he said to his mom and his father, they're immigrants. They came here from, I guess, China.
I'm guessing Hong Kong. But
Hong
I'm not
Kong.
sure.
Oh, maybe Hong Kong. And he said the truth will vindicate them.
Well,
So-
that's what we hope for with
Well, we've heard
transparency.
this before, and they end up lied through their teeth, and when it hits the wall, they finally end up going to jail or whatever. But that's I can't name one thing in Canada that's happened. But I mean, the Liberal government is not without scandal. Remember our head person, the Queen's representative.
Oh, the Governor General?
Governor General, that whole scandal with the company and about how they wanted her to just let that go. That was a
you
scandal.
mean Jody
Yeah.
Wilson-Raybould?
Yeah, which seems to be finished. This is the sad thing about these things. I can't stand it when the innocent get finished. The general finished. The Ukraine's leader of the ambassador to Ukraine finished because of Trump. She didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
And our person didn't do anything wrong either. Was just trying to.
You're
be
talking about
honorable.
all the smearing that goes on from political smearing.
Yeah,
You mentioned
and
Trump.
they're ruined at the hands because somebody did something wrong.
Right.
And so the Liberals have a lot of stuff to answer for. Some people are saying they're not. This might be the clincher. This might bring them down. I'm not so sure.
I'm not so
Let's see
sure
what
either.
happens.
And if there's a scandal, it needs to be investigated. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants transparency.
Yeah.
That much we know. What is the truth and what will come out? We don't know. But there is a rapporteur appointed.
Yeah.
So there is an investigation. It is just not the public grand inquiry, the grand inquisition that Pierre Poilievre would like. And I think Jagmeet Singh would like it
This is the
too.
sad thing about our whole governments, this loyal opposition becomes a pain in the ass, in my opinion. They're always on you, and they want the worst. They go to the worst so they can get the minimum, and that's just, to me, I don't like it. I don't like when liberals do it, and I don't like it when conservatives do it. I can't stand it. It's childish to me. I just can't stand it.
I think we're talking about the word obstruction.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this borders on, is when you
It's
deliberately...
also grandstanding, Terry.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm on TV. I'm saying, and I'm accusing the government, and this is where it bothers me the most, of being really corrupt in this area when they may not be. They may be. But I'm saying it doesn't matter if they're not. They still say it. It gets it out there.
Yep.
And their minions hear it and will believe it regardless of what the outcome is.
And then the minions...
And that's why they do it.
The minions. Let's talk about the minions, because Pierre Poilievre has minions.
Yes.
And they were in Ottawa a year ago.
Yes.
And they may be coming back on this National Day of Protest, April 1st. Good day to have a joke on you.
Ah, okay. So they're coming back.
It's supposed to be a National Day of Protest, trying to shut down the government of Canada
Right,
for
I hope
one
they're
day.
not letting the trucks in.
I don't know what the plan is. I just saw a protest sign, and I've
Well, go
noticed some
protest.
trucks
Totally
with
free to
flags
protest in this
coming
country.
back down the street.
Go,
so.
go. Come in your
Go
mind.
protest. It is your right as a Canadian in a free society
Yeah.
to protest.
Take over a city? No.
Yeah, I think we draw the line at
Yeah,
taking over and occupying a territory.
Yeah, I
so
think that's the
Putin,
end of it.
get out of Donbass, get out of those regions of Ukraine,
Get out of Ottawa.
and get out of Ottawa, truckers, and get out of Canadian politics, China. And
Yeah.
Russia, because the Conservatives seem to be using a lot of the mimicry of Russian trolls.
It would be reversed.
too.
It would be reversed.
So
I'm sorry.
here we
Same
go.
thing would happen.
We can pick Saudi Arabia, we can pick Russia, we can pick China, we can pick whatever country. Everybody wants a piece of Canada.
I think we should just vote you in, Terry.
I think so. The Jim and Terry Show for government.
Running-
we can switch.
running things.
You can be Prime Minister for a day. I'll be the opposition.
Wouldn't
Then
that
we'll
be fun?
change
Wouldn't that be
roles.
fun? And
There we
change
go.
policies.
The Jim and Terry Show. We have aspirations. Bye-bye for now.